Today we're talking about the Amazon Reseller Book Club Book of the Month for July, which is called The One Thing. Now, I've got my Kindle version of it. I don't have my paperback or hardback copy of it, so it might look a little interesting with the cover here on the Kindle. But as always, every single month we go through a different book that could be related to Amazon FBA, could just be related to business and productivity, and that's what this book is for this month. If you go to fulltimefba.com/book club, you can sign up for the book club. It's absolutely free. And the book that we're going through right now is called The One Thing. And the subtitle is The Surprisingly Simple Truth Behind Extraordinary Results. And it's by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. And I really recommend this book when it comes to productivity. It helps break down, while Eat That Frog helped us understand the most important tasks that we need to do, the One Thing helps us break it down and see the little tasks that help us tackle the big task of the one thing that we're needing to be doing. So I'm going to jump right into this and talk a little bit more about the book club and what we're going to be reading to today. I'm going to be flipping through here, and there's just so many things about this book that really stand out to me. And the bottom line of it is it all comes down to one question. And the question is this. The question is, what is the one thing you can do this week such that by doing it, everything else would become easier or unnecessary? And that when you think about that and break it down for your Amazon FBA business, it can really help you with your productivity. What is the one thing you can do this week such that by doing it, everything else would become easier or unnecessary? And when you're trying to think about building your business, we can get distracted by a lot of different things. And when we are trying to focus on certain goals like doubling our sales or finding more inventory or cutting down on returns, there's a lot of different things that we can do to help us achieve those goals. But we need to ask ourselves, what is the one thing that we can do today such that by doing it, everything else will become easier or unnecessary? Like, I know for us, one of the things that we wanted to do was deal with a lot of the returns that, we're trying to, not the returns, but trying to deal with the reimbursements that we needed to get for when Amazon damages our inventory. So it's like, okay, so let's ask that question. What's the one thing we can do today such that by doing it, everything else will become easier or unnecessary? So if we're trying to have a goal of being reimbursed for months and months of items that Amazon has damaged, the one thing that we could do, we signed up for AMZ Suite. You can find out more about that, fulltimefba.com/AMZ Suite. And that was one thing that made everything else easier and unnecessary. It made it unnecessary for me to have to go in and open up cases myself to try to get reimbursement. It made it so much easier because we pay a very small fee to get, large reimbursements, and it automatically, and it pays for itself. And so I'm not just here to promote a service or anything, but to get you thinking about the type of things that you can do to break down your big goals into what's the next step. Because a lot of times we might be working on things with our next step in mind, on things that really aren't getting us closer to our goals. And so if we can kind of think through the next step that we can do, if it's something that makes the rest of the process of achieving that goal easier or unnecessary, we need to focus on those things. This is talking about achievers, and I'm sure you want to be an achiever, not just a time waster, not just a doer, but an achiever, because we can work and do a lot of things, but not achieve anything. I mean, we could spend a lot of time doing menial tasks and unnecessary tasks and time-wasting tasks and doing a lot, but if it's not helping us reach our goal, we're really wasting a lot of time. And this is what the author says. Achievers operate differently. They have an eye for the essential. They pause just long enough to decide what matters and then allow what matters to drive their day. Achievers do sooner what others plan to do later and defer, perhaps indefinitely, what others do sooner. The difference isn't intent, but in right of way. Achievers always look from a clear sense of priority. And this is something to be thinking about. When you are going through your day, I know sometimes, it could be tempting to spend some time on Facebook looking at, posts in Amazon FBA groups. I mean, we have our own Amazon FBA group that has a lot of great stuff, and you can find that at fulltimefba.com/Facebook. But honestly, I mean, how many of you ever go and check some Facebook groups, or I'm just going to check Facebook for a minute, and then 30 minutes later you're like, oh my gosh, where did the time go? And you get sucked into it. And yeah, there's squirrels everywhere that are distracting. And so we want to be sure that you're able to find some focus and be able to really get closer to your goal. So what is it for you with your Amazon FBA business? What is your one thing that you can do? The author talks about, here it is, the focusing question again. What I just asked you a bunch of different times, that's what he calls the focusing question. What's the one thing that I can do such that by doing it, everything else will become easier or unnecessary? So this is what he's talking about. The focusing question is so deceptively simple that it's easily dismissed by anyone who doesn't closely examine it. And that might even be you right now. You might be thinking, oh, well, that's duh. Obviously, that's what I'm supposed to do. But a lot of times we just kind of really just ignore it or dismiss it. The focusing question can lead you to answer not only the big picture questions, where am I going, what target should I aim for, but also small focus questions as well. What do I need to do right now on the path getting to the big picture? Where's the bullseye? It tells you not only what your basket should be, but the first step towards getting it. It shows you how big your life can be and how small you must go to get there. It's both a map for the big picture and a compass for your next small move. And that's something that I thought was really awesome when I was reading through this book and really being challenged to think about what's my one thing. And a lot of times, you know what, I get distracted. I start wasting my time on things that don't really matter in the big picture. And going back to that focusing question really helps me to stay on track. So I'm going to read a little bit more. So what can I do to double sales in 6 months? So if that's like your goal, I want to double my sales in 6 months. That's a great question. How can we make it more powerful? Transform it into the focusing question. What's the one thing I can do to double sales in 6 months, such that by doing it, everything else would become easier or unnecessary? Maybe you're thinking, hey, maybe if I add wholesale to my Amazon business, that's the one thing I can do to double my sales. I mean, I don't have to spend all day searching for inventory on retail arbitrage. I don't have to spend a bunch of times going to online arbitrage stores trying to find things. I could probably I could order hundreds of items all at once, process it all at once, send it to Amazon FBA, and be able to see more income come in and be able to grow my business. Maybe that's your one thing to help double your sales. Maybe right now you're just working on garage sales and thrift stores as your inventory source, and to double your sales, maybe you want to look into retail arbitrage. And so, there's different types of things for different, obviously different areas in your business, different areas in your journey toward your overall goal that we're all at. But if doubling your sales is a goal, what's the one thing you could do to make it easier? Whether it's purchasing a course that can help you get there, whether it's, I've purchased 10 different courses. I just need to focus on going through one of them, mastering it before I go to the next. Whatever it is, find out what that is, and it leads towards success. Final thing that I'm going to leave you with today talks about your one big thing and your one small thing. Your one big thing is your overall purpose. The one thing for us is to be able to grow a business such that we can, live comfortably, but be able to give and help others as much as possible. We want to be able to give to missionary friends of ours. We're already giving right now. We want to give more. We love giving to our church. We'd love to give more. We love giving to people in need. We'd love to give more. And we want to be able to grow a business and grow our finances in such a way that we can give more. We're not trying to get a bigger house or a bigger car. We want to give more to others, and that's our overall one thing. But for everybody, it's different. So figure out what your overall one thing is, your purpose and your goal, and then think about the small one thing, which are the little things that get you there to the overall big goal. So your big one thing is your purpose, and your small one thing is the priority that you take action on to achieve it. So think about that. What's your overall big goal? And then break it down into the smaller goals to get there, and find out what is the one thing that you can do, such that by doing it, everything else becomes easier or completely unnecessary. And that will help lead you to making better choices with your time, better choices even when you're outsourcing, better choices in your business, better choices in your family and life, and it really does have an impact on everything that you do. So I highly recommend reading this book, The One Thing. Check it out. You can go to fulltimefba.com/book club to find out more information about how to get this book and other books like it. So that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to scroll down, click like, leave us a comment or a question. That'd be cool. For more information about turning part-time hours into a full-time income with Amazon FBA, come over to the blog, fulltimefba.com. And for more videos, check us out and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Thanks and have a great day. Bye.